Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to LinkedIn Level Up. I am happy that many of you were able to join. Now, we are waiting for a few persons to come on stream, but in the interim, what I'm going to do is share a poll with you so that you can give me your feedback in the meantime. All right, so there's a poll. You have a few minutes to complete it while we await other participants to join. Okay, welcome, Jermaine. I'm seeing Sam Ross, and I'm seeing Shanique. Okay, that's good. All right. So while you're completing the survey, I have a few persons messaging me asking for some time because they're on their way home, but we will proceed with the session since it's 1 hour. And I know that 1 hour isn't a lot of time. And I really want you to get a chance to go through the optimization exercise so that you can improve your LinkedIn profile. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you at this time, and we're going to go right into the presentation. So I'm going to share my screen too with you, and then I'm going to go into presentation mode so that you can see presentation mode. Beautiful. Now, this session is called LinkedIn Level Up, and the aim of it is to build a professional brand that opens doors for you. The importance of this is to be visible, to be credible, and to stay connected. And in the interim, while persons are coming on, we're just going to do a round of introduction. I will start by saying my name and my area of profession, my work, and the country I represent. So my name is Cordia Chambers Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Cord Connect Consulting Limited. I am physically based in Jamaica. My area of expertise is gender equality and project management. And with that, I want to hand over to the participants to do a round of intro. Okay, so I'm noticing that Shanique is no longer on the call, but we'll proceed nonetheless. All right, thank you, Jermaine, for confirming that you're based in Jamaica. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go right into the session. Now, the objectives of this workshop includes building a professional LinkedIn profile, having a stronger brand statement, optimize your headline and your about section on your LinkedIn profile. Networking and visibility strategies are clear, and you have the confidence to use LinkedIn for opportunities. I know that this is a big promise, but I believe that by the end of this workshop, you will be able to do all of that. So why does LinkedIn matter in 2026? Many persons have been reaching out to me since 2026 and before, but I find that the queries have increased since 2026. Now, in 2026, we're looking at LinkedIn. 90% of recruiters use LinkedIn to identify candidates. They use it to find you. And if you're not here, they're not going to find you, right? Next, 70% of jobs are never publicly posted. Network is the key. So for some organizations, especially when it comes on to government, private sector, and multilateral agencies or development partners, it is mandatory for them to post the vacancies. However, we are seeing reports that most of these vacancies are filled by the time they advertise them. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't still apply because you may never know your job is out there. Now, a part of the networking is being a part of different types of professional groups. And when you're part of these professional groups, especially if you're on them online, what you find is that this is where the job opportunities are posted first before they are publicly posted. So it is important to be a part of a network. And when you're looking at 2026, over 1 billion professionals are on LinkedIn worldwide. So you may be from a small island developing state. However, that does not mean that you shouldn't be a part of this global community of over 1 billion people seeking an opportunity. Now, your LinkedIn profile is your first digital impression, right? Is your digital first impression. So when you have a LinkedIn profile, everything about it matters. We speak about the LinkedIn profile. What makes a strong LinkedIn profile? There are different things that make a strong LinkedIn profile, and I will go into all of this. So we have the professional photo that is very important. You need to have a clear, high quality, and a friendly photo. You also need to have a custom banner. The banner section of your LinkedIn profile is a very valuable digital real estate on your LinkedIn. So you don't want to leave that empty. Then you need a compelling headline, who you help and what value do you bring. You need to improve your about section, your story and your call to action. What is it that you're about? Your experience is important, your achievements and not just your duties. What I've seen is that persons have oftentimes just tag or copy their job description into the experience, but not quantifying the achievements while they're in the role. Then you want to think about your skills and endorsement. There are skills that you can tag, and we'll get into that and how to go about doing that. And then recommendations. You can ask your professor or former employer or a colleague for recommendation, and you too can also give them recommendation. So let's get into profile photo and your banner, the do's and the don'ts. So when you think about your profile photo and your banner, you want to have a clear, well lit headshot. I would recommend staying away from full body photos, because a full body photo, once it passes your waist, the rest of it can become distracting. Maybe the creases in the pants, how the shape of the skirt, the wrinkles, excuse me. You're talking also about the body shape, maybe how you sit and, different things. I would not suggest going for a full body shot, do a headshot. Then you need to dress professional or smart casual. Excuse me. Wow. And then you need to have a simple, uncluttered background. So, like my background right now, I would not use this as my LinkedIn profile because there's too much happening in my background. So, if you can see, my banner is here, my bookshelf is right there. I have a lot of books, a lot of colors, a lot of things happening in the background, and that can easily drown me out in a LinkedIn profile. Then you want to have a warm, approachable expression, and you need to have a banner that reflects your brand. And I'll show you what the banner is in a moment. So some of the things to avoid would be to avoid cropped photos. And I know some of you on this call are like, really? Somebody's going to use a cropped photo? Recently, I requested a photo from someone, and the person sent a cropped photo. You could see the elbow of the person who was in the photo with them, and it looked awkward. But I guess the person liked the photo, maybe like how they looked in the photo and couldn't be bothered, but that's not professional. Then you want to avoid low resolution and or blurry images. That doesn't speak well of you as a professional. Then the distracting backgrounds, like I just demonstrate with my current background. I mean, my background is good as a Zoom background, but not as a LinkedIn background. Then you want to avoid sunglasses or obscured face. So sunglasses are not recommended for your profile photo. I am currently wearing transition lens. If you have a transition lens or tinted frame, tinted lens, what you don't want to do, you don't want to do a photo that will become your profile photo while you're in the sun, because the transition lens, they get dark while you enter once you enter into sunlight. Or if you have tinted glasses, be careful of how you position when you're doing your photo. And then try to avoid the default LinkedIn blue background, and I'll show you momentarily what that looks like. Now, when you're crafting your headline, there are a few things that you need to consider. You need to consider who you help, what you do, and what value you bring. So I'll use myself as an example here. Government, so who do I help? I help governments, I help development partners, communities, and NGOs. I help them by supporting inclusive climate and conservation finance. And the value I bring is that I bring to the development impactful gender lens across the Caribbean. Now, my headline could simply look like a gender specialist or gender expert supporting inclusive climate and conservation finance across the Caribbean. It looks simple, but it is not as simple to put together, because sometimes as a professional, you are doing different things, you're involving so many different things, and it's a bit difficult to find one sentence, a compact sentence that reflects exactly what you do. What I can suggest to you is you can upload your CV to an AI platform, whether you use Claude or ChatGPT or whichever version, or you use Gemini, anyone that you use, and you can upload your CV and ask it to help you with a headline for LinkedIn. So don't be afraid to use the AI as you are developing your profile. The next thing we want to do is to write a strong about section. So in your about section, who are you? What do you do? What is your expertise? What are your achievements? And then a call to action. So you want to look at your professional identity and your background. Then you want to speak about the problems that you solve or the value you deliver for clients or employers. And then you want to speak about your expertise, your key skills, your tools, the sector, the specialization that you bring to the table. You can also identify some of your achievements. So, for example, you are a renowned keynote speaker. You have attained your certification in project management, or you have your chartered accounting certification. So those are some key achievements that you can put there, and then you can put your call to action. So on LinkedIn, there are different ways you can do this. You can put it in your about section or on um, your profile photo. You can update your profile to say you're open for work, you're open for networking. It depends on what your interest is. Then we are looking at writing impactful experience entries. Now, this is where it gets really tricky, and generally persons just don't spend the time to make this section attractive at all. Now, when you're doing your experience entries, don't just copy from your terms of reference or your job description and pace. So your description will say something like you would be responsible for to manage a project. You should submit quarterly and monthly reports. You should assist with stakeholder coordination. You're responsible for leading the budget. You should be writing proposals. So that's what the job description would probably entail. Now, what you need to do is take that and make it smart. So then you're going to look at it to say, manage a US $2 million project impacting 5 Caribbean nations. What are some of your experience? You coordinated over 12 multi-stakeholder workshops. You've secured 500,000 in new grants through proposals. You have led a team of 8 across 3 countries. You've delivered 15% on the budget and on time. So this is very specific, and it is important that as you are building out your experience, it is more from an achievement perspective. Now, one of the or a few of the tips that I would suggest is that you use numbers, you use percentages, and the scale to quantify your impact always. Yeah, because that stands out better than you have these paragraphs in your experience entries on your LinkedIn profile. Then we can now modify the skills endorsements and the recommendations. For the skills, you want to understand that the keyword matters. It's almost like doing an abstract. So recruiters search by skills. They match skills to job description, and industry specific terms are also encouraged. You need to update your skills regularly as you grow. So right now, one of the skills that most professionals are embarking on is improving their digital literacy around AI, artificial intelligence, and what I've also seen an increase in is EI, emotional intelligence, because it doesn't make sense that you have the artificial intelligence and you lack the emotional intelligence. All right. Now, we'll talk about the endorsement. You can ask people to endorse you, and people do that from time to time. You can endorse others. You can also pin your top 3 relevant skills. That's important. And it doesn't have to be fixated. You can change that as you go along. And you need to look at the quality and the quantity of the endorsements that you are getting. Then we have the recommendation section of the profile. Under the recommendation section, you can request from your managers or your previous clients to give you recommendations. Then you can um, ensure that you provide a guide for these recommendations, because you don't want it to be like an entry-level recommendation when you are an expert or a mid-career personnel. So it is good to give specific guidance on what to highlight in your recommendation. Then you can aim for around 3 to 5 recommendations. I wouldn't go for more than that, because your experience really is your recommendation. And always be open to offer to write one in return. Sometimes you may have a manager who would want a recommendation from you because they don't want to see how you as a subordinate view them and ways in which they can improve. So there are different purposes, I would say, for the recommendation aspect of your LinkedIn profile. Now, the important part where everybody wants to get to, which is the networking strategies. There are different ways to network or to increase your visibility on LinkedIn. Now, there is the main one, which is the connect intentionally. So you have connections on LinkedIn, and a little later I'll speak about connections versus following. So when I started out on LinkedIn, it was just another social media profile that I developed. I was not intentional about it. However, I started realizing that This is a very good platform that I can use to improve my visibility, to show my work, my interests, and to also access opportunities. Over the past year, I've been more intentional about my connection, and I have good quality connection. I have connected with different people and organizations with purpose. Now, there is the engagement element of the visibility. So it's important to like, comment, and share relevant content regularly. Um, Initially, when I came on LinkedIn, all I was doing was liking people's posts and reposting. I wasn't doing posts of my own until I start realizing, oh, I can become an author on LinkedIn. I can write articles and post them. I can just be posting. And when I started doing that, I realized that my connection started growing. Now, you can follow industry leaders. I do that. So you learn from top voices in your field and comment on whatever they post. Don't just post and say something shallow. Put some thought into the post, and then you realize that over time, persons from their network or their connection start following you and connecting with you. Then you can do the personalize. Um, you can personalize your requests. So, for example, I when I have an event and I meet someone, I've tried to follow them on LinkedIn. I try to connect with them on LinkedIn and I reintroduce myself to say, hey, I'm Vanessa. Thanks for joining this LinkedIn Level Up session. It was a pleasure meeting you. Let's connect, and that's it. Because the word limit is really small, so you're not able to write an epistle. Then you don't necessarily have to personalize a request, but it's important to do so, especially if it's somebody that you've just met. If it's somebody you knew a long time, but you know they're on LinkedIn and you guys are very personal or personable, you can just connect with the person, they will accept because they will know who you are. Then comment professionally, add value in the comment, and don't just say great posts or interesting posts or something. You can just give your feedback on a post. So, for example, we have climate change happening. We may have like a storm. Somebody is posting about the El Nino effect and all of those things, and you have something that you want to say about it based on your experience. You can just post something, and when you post, what happens is that their connections can see what you post and may likely connect with you or follow you, and then join relevant groups. So participate in discussion and expand your reach. Join different group. I am a part of a gender society. I've joined evaluation group. I've joined different groups on LinkedIn, and I've benefited from being a part of those groups. Now, earlier I spoke about connections and followers, and how do you grow both of them? So when you think about connections, a connection is where you have a mutual people agree. So it's a two-way link. Both can message and see each other's full network, and the connection is typically somebody who you have some sort of common interest with. So when I say common interest, you may have worked at the same place before, you may have studied at the same university, you may have been a part of the same social club, whatever the case may be. So that is where the connection, or you're from the same country or the same community. So what do you get when you connect? You get a chance to direct message. So my birthday was in April, and persons were able to send me direct messages because we have a connection. People have connected with me, asked me questions. People have connected with me through messages, sharing opportunities. when you have the direct connection, what you also get a chance to do is to see their full network. So if you're connected to me, you can see all the persons I am connected with. And what LinkedIn does is that it also tells you who are your common connection, right? So, for example, I am going to connect with you, but you're already connected to some persons I am connected with, it will show. And there's a likelihood for you to connect with somebody who is connected to several people you already know. So I remember recently I was going to connect with somebody. I didn't know the person, but then when I was about to connect with the person, I recognized that the person had over 55 of my connections in her connection. And that said to me that this is somebody I would want to connect with. Then both you can see each other's posts when you're connected. Now, how do you grow your connection? So you can send personalized connection requests. You can connect after events or conversations. I'm good at that. I do that quite often. And you can engage on posts before requesting to do so. Then when you think about the following is more of a one-way thing. So your followers are people who you may not know, right? So you can subscribe to posts without connecting. There's no limit. And that's perfect for growing your reach. And you grow your followers based on the content that you post. So if you're somebody who don't post content, you will not have followers. What do you get? Your posts appear in their feed. You build audience without limit. For the connection, there's a 30,000 cap limit. You can't pass 30,000 connections. And that is reasonable. I think LinkedIn has been generous because, I mean, imagine you alone as an individual are connected to even 10,000 people. How do you know and remember these 10,000 people? You don't know 10,000 people. And most times I see most people that I know, their connections are 2,000 and less, but they may have 100,000, 200,000 followers on LinkedIn. So they, for the follow, to enable following, you have to turn on the creator mode setting. You post consistently, value-driven content. You use hashtag and tag relevant people, and that is how you get a chance to get more followers on LinkedIn. Then we want to talk about content and visibility. The visibility creates opportunity. There are several different, I would say, categories that you can create your content and visibility. And these categories could include, but not limited to, career lessons, project highlights, industry insights, certification, event preparation, and tips and how-tos. So if you're thinking about a career lesson, what have you learned from your experience? I tend to post a lot of those types of posts. Project highlights, wins, milestones, and outcome. I do some of that, but not extensively. Industry insights, I do a few of those. Certification, event participation, and how to tips. So these are some of the ways in which you can the ideas that you can think about when generating a post or content for visibility on LinkedIn. Now, some of the common mistakes that I have seen, and I'm sure if you are on LinkedIn already, you would have seen some of them, but it may not have jumped out to you as a mistake. Now, we talk about mistake number one, no professional profile photo. Then we have weak or generic headline. You have an empty about section, no measurable achievements, zero activity, never post or engage anybody, or only have two connection, too informal or unprofessional tone, missing skills and keyword, and no recommendations or endorsement. So those are common mistakes. If you're looking to increase your visibility, you want to avoid those mistakes. Then we're going to go now into a live optimization exercise. I know 10 minutes may not be enough, but I think it would be enough to show you how to do it. And then you will get an assignment to do, and I'll be connecting with you if we're not already connected on LinkedIn. And I will see your progress. You can tag me, and I will give my feedback based on how you would have updated your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen right now, and then I'm going to show you my LinkedIn profile. So, any questions before I move on? No questions? All right. Okay. So here I'm sharing with you my LinkedIn profile. Now, this is my LinkedIn profile. Right here, this is my profile photo. And then this behind my profile photo is the banner that I was telling you about. So on my banner, I have Cord Connect, which is the consulting firm. I also have my photo on the right, my title, and entities that I would have consulted for. And this, and the services that I offer. Now, if you look at it, I have 835 followers, and then I have 500 over 500 connections. So I'm at 791 connections. If you also look at it, these are the analytics of my posts. So it tells you the analytics. It also tells you, content analytics, audience analytics. So these are things that you can go into to track how you're performing. That is not going to necessarily be your focus right now. Your focus really is to improve the profile. What I would say is under your analytics, you can take a screenshot of it in your before, and then maybe after a month you can go back to analytics to see what the numbers are based on how you have improved your profile. Now, this is the about section, right? So I'm a dedicated gender data analyst with a passion for leveraging data to advance gender equality. Da, 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 da. Let's connect and work together to turn data into action for a more equitable world. And this is the call to action part of my LinkedIn profile. Then I have the services that I offer. You may not necessarily put services there. Then this is the activity, comments, videos, image, articles. So I've written some articles before, right? And then I've also done the images. I've posted different things, all right? I've posted different stuff here. And then the post, and then my comments. So there are different things that you can look for on the LinkedIn platform. And this is my experience. So let me show you the experience. And what I've done, I've also included the organization. So, and then my education, licenses and certificates, the skills. I was endorsed by one person in the last 6 months. So I have that an endorsement. I have recommendation, honors and awards, language. There are different things, the interest, the cause. So there are different things you can build out your platform doing. All right. So I want to pause here because I want to take this opportunity to look at some of your profile and to give you some tips. Okay, so let's go in terms of, so let's go. This is Vanessa, right? So Vanessa, you are an accountant. So this is nice. So this is Vanessa's profile photo, and this is her banner, right? Let us look at, she has 408 connections. I have 3 mutual connections with Vanessa. Remember I was telling you about the mutual connections? So I have 3 with her. Now, in her about section, she said, I am a coachable, hardworking young professional navigating the accounting industry. I'm a Christian woman who has experience. So, Vanessa, my question is, are you reaching out to, are you targeting religious organizations to do your accounting work? If that's not the case, what I would suggest is that you separate it. I'm a Christian woman who has experience in accounting and auditing, because then this would help you better if you are targeting a particular group of people. All right. And this is nice here. You have your top skills highlighted, you've tagged them. So that's beautiful. You have your activities, your experience. This is what experience. Oh man. So your experience, you can build on the experience part a little more, right? You can build out the experience part a little more. And then you have your education, where you volunteer, your skills, your interests. So you need to get some endorsement and recommendations here. But what I would suggest for you, Vanessa, is that change this banner. I would change this banner because you work with big companies. You have KPMG, you have Money Masters Group, and those are large. So I would get their logos and design something beautiful here for your banner asset. So this digital asset, this digital real estate is very valuable. I would take out these images and go into Canva and create something very professional. Then let's look at your profile photo. So your profile photo, I would change this profile photo. You need a headshot. Too much of your background is in the photo. So you need something where you are in the foreground of the photo. You are up in the photo. Your background is not overshadowing your presence. You also, when you wear glasses, what I would say, you need to have an angle where you can tilt your head a little from the light so your eyes are visible. Okay. And if you look at let us go back to me. If you look at my profile, I'm wearing glasses, but you can see my eyes, right? Look at it. You can see my eyes because of how my head is tilted. So I'm not blinded by the light. My eyes aren't invisible because of the light. So this is one of the things, you really want to get yourself up into the photo and not too much of your background in the photo. Okay, let us move on to another person. Let us see if we can look at one of my friend, Tenny. So Tenny is a project management specialist, and look at it. He has the 5, is it knowledge areas? So you have initiation, planning, execution, closing, monitoring, and control. So these are the project management processes. So you have 5 process areas of project management, and he has a nice professional photo, and he's visible and it looks pleasant. So this is really a good profile banner and photo. Then he has over 1,500 followers and over 500 connections. So let's look at his about section is really succinct. His posts, his activities, his experience, several experience there, education, his licenses and certificate, the projects that he has worked on, his skill, recommendations. He has gotten some recommendations, 5. The courses that he's completed, language, interest, the cause. So this is a well built out LinkedIn profile. I want to show you another one. And this is Anne Marie Brown, and this is a Jamaican living in the Netherlands. And Anne Marie is an expert in monitoring and evaluation. And if you look right here, She has 127,930 followers, but she has 500 plus connections. Anne Marie is an industry expert, so she does a lot of content around monitoring and evaluation and gender. And if you look at that, because she does a lot of posting around that and um like content, she create content around it, then she will have a lot of interest globally, hence why you see the 127 followers but 500 plus connections. So she's really dominating this space as a monitoring, evaluation and learning expert and strategic facilitator. Okay, now let us look at um before we look at any other profile, what I'd want to show you is how I created my banner and how banners are created. So if you look at the banner, I created this banner using Canva. Now, when you go into Canva, what you type is LinkedIn banner. And what Canva will do, it will give you a number of templates. When you get these templates, you can select the one that you like based on your color scheme and your preference, your area. What I would say is that if you are looking at these color schemes, what I suggest is that, say, for example, if you are going to go with this guy here who's a digital marketing, you don't want to select a banner template with a photo on the left hand side, and I'm going to show you why. So if you look back on my LinkedIn, your profile photo is right here. If you select a banner with a profile photo on the left hand side, what is going to happen is that your profile photo is going to block the banner photo on the left. So you don't want to select one like that. What you can do is select one that is more like, let me show you. Right, so even this one, you can select one where you can put a photo in the middle, or you select one where you put a photo on the right hand side. So you're not blocking anything from your profile from your banner with your profile photo. What I'd suggest is that you just try to avoid keeping anything on this space. So if you look at Benjamin, in this space, there's nothing. You can write above it because right here, this is where your profile photo will go. What I can say to you also is play around with Canva because there are a lot of options in Canva. Play around with it so that you can change a color. So for example, if you like Henrietta Mitchell's banner template, you can select it and then you can change your colors in it. Yeah. So if you want this to be, say, a purple, and then you want this to be a green, you can do something like that. If you want it to be a yellow, right? There are different things you can do to change the banner to make it your own. You can select the the format, the font style, and the size. You can change a lot of these things. What I would also highlight too is that ensure that you remove any asset from the template that does not relate to you. So if you don't have a website, for example, remove the website logo. If you don't have certain things, just remove it. Ensure that it is very specific and play around. You're not going to get it right the first time. You may get it right the first time, but over time you want to change it. Then I'll suggest those things. All right. So basically, this is how you go about getting the background for your LinkedIn um, profile. All right. Then we're gonna go to, you have some very good content and images on social media. What I would say, combine, do a collage of some of those for your digital asset in the background, and then
Yeah.
have a photo of you in your chef or in something. So you can have a
Yeah.
photo
Right.
of you here. Then what I would say is that you tag all of the places that you work on, some of your clients, you understand? So when they're
Yeah.
having a corporate event, they can reach out to you to cover their event with catering or whatever. So that's how you build a
Okay.
connection.
Yeah.
All right, so the assignment, so let me stop sharing here. So remember that the Canva is where you're gonna go to develop your digital real estate for your background. Don't leave it blank like this. Have a nice photo up. All right, let me just go back to any question before I stop sharing. I know we're 6 minutes over time. All right, so no questions there. All right, so let us go back to the presentation, which is just 2 slides remaining. This is my screen too. I need to get it back on my screen too. Where's my screen too? Okay, it's right here. All right, screen to share. All right. And then I go into presentation mode. Are you seeing the exercise? Are you seeing my screen? Okay, great. Now, let me turn on my camera so those who don't know me can see me again. Now, the so we just went through some optimization of your profile. And let me tell you, it's when you update that profile, you're going to see, you're gonna message me and say, you know, what I want you to do. You see, before you optimize your profile, I want you to document how many connections you have. Date it. Just write it down somewhere, save it in your phone, and take a picture. The connections that you have, and then give it 2 weeks. So you're gonna be posting. And remember the slide that asked me to reshare. Let me show you this slide. You're gonna post one post after you update your profile, and then after 2 weeks you're going to see, I'm going to be checking now. So this is the challenge, right? It's a 7-day challenge, but I'm going to extend it to 14 days. So you're going to update your LinkedIn profile. And how you're going to update, you're going to do the photo, the banner, the headline, the about section, right? Then you're going to make 5 strategic connections. I just connected with Vanessa and I think somebody else just now. And then you are going to, sorry, then you are going to comment on 3 posts. Just comment. It can be an organization that you're commenting on the post, and you're going to comment on an individual's post, because when you comment on somebody's post, their connection get to see your post and they can connect with you. And then you're going to publish your first professional post, right? You're going to write something based on your experience, based on your achievements, something that you want to post, and then you can even tag people in it. So that's the assignment. All right. I know we're over time, but you know, opportunities often find people where they are visible, not the people who are best at what they do. It always find the people who are visible, and your network can change your net worth. And you don't want to encourage you to be visible, be credible, and be connected, and build a profile that opens the door for you. All right, so thank you all for joining the session. I am available on here on LinkedIn. Since we're talking about LinkedIn, I'll keep it at LinkedIn. You can always message me through LinkedIn. I'm responsive through LinkedIn. I've always been responsive through LinkedIn because that's where I've gotten a lot of my opportunities. In another forum, I'll share some of the type of opportunities that I've gotten. But I must say, since probably 2021, I've only applied for one job. Every opportunity that I've gotten, every opportunity to work remotely, every opportunity to earn some monies, I've gotten them online. People have found me through LinkedIn. and they have emailed me. When I woke up to an email this morning, 6 o'clock, with a very lucrative opportunity to work in 5 countries, right? So I'm saying that your visibility is what is going to aid your connectivity. And I want to stop sharing right here, and I'll make the recording available. And just to encourage you to do the assignment and ensure that you are leveling up. Don't leave the digital space empty as a professional, because you really want persons to find you and to connect with you. And you want to be in a situation where the work is coming that you're not applying for, and you don't have to travel and burn gas and pay toll and pay bus fare or taxi fare or Uber or whatever it is to be able to earn an income. So I want to thank you all for joining this session, and I do have your email, so I will email the presentation to you, and I'll be following up with you on the assignment and nudging you to say, hey, why am I not seeing an update? Spend some time to update your profile. Don't leave it like that. All right. Any final word, any questions, any suggestions? No final word, no. Okay, all right. So thank you all for participating, and I do expect to hear some testimonials coming out of you leveling up your LinkedIn. All right, have a good evening. Bye.
Oh, good evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, LD.
Good evening.